What is up, everybody? Hugo Nowhere, back with another video. And today I wanted to talk about Conformity Gate and my thoughts surrounding it. In case you have not been online since the last episode of Stranger Things went live, there is a theory going on that the last episode that we got wasn't the last episode. It was a fake out, that we still have maybe one, maybe two, I don't know how many episodes. We're gonna get an episode that has the true ending. And why is that? Because Conformity Gate, the show ended very cookie cutter, very happily ever after, and people don't believe that that is the real ending. And there's a lot of proof that people are bringing to the table to make this argument. Just take a look at this. This is one of many videos, by the way.
The idea that the epilogue is an illusion that Vecna has put inside Mike's head might actually be real. Because why else, when I type Conformity Gate inside Netflix, it links me to Stranger Things? Why is Netflix commenting on Conformity Gate theory videos with the side-eye emoji? And why are they selling a flashlight that shines the words Vecna lives? Why does season 5's poster have the mind flare connecting Mike and Henry's heads together? Why did Netflix release a trailer teasing that something big is dropping on January 7th with an actress who suspiciously looks like young Joyce Byers? And right when the voiceover says coincidence, the Stranger Things poster is revealed. Lucas says we're not supposed to believe in coincidences. Why in the epilogue do so many characters have the same hairstyle as Henry, or why are their hands placed in the same way he always held his? Why is there a What's It board game in Hopper's cabin and Mike's basement in plain view that they clearly wanted us to see? Reminder, the first time we ever saw that was when the Demogorgon kidnapped Holly. Why do the books spell X is a lie, hinting that this is all a lie and they're still stuck in Dimension X? How could Hopper have given Joyce the same engagement ring that Jonathan gave Nancy when Nancy left the ring back in the Upside Down? And why are the Christmas lights blinking behind Will just like they did in season 1? And why is the dice rolled on a 7? I rolled a 7. Demogorgon got me. For the record, this is not an LP Longmire theory. I don't think that we're getting a secret episode on January 7th. However, you do have to admit, the more you think about that finale, that epilogue did feel very dreamlike. A dream that Vecna is forcing Mike to have. Everyone just boringly turns into their parents and of course having to let Elle go. What's crazy is I'm just scratching the surface of Conformity Gate. It is a rabbit hole that you could spend the next 2 hours that will convince you there is something more coming.
Some of the examples are pretty cool, okay? And I know that the one that is causing a little bit of confusion is that scene at the very end of the show where every single of the main characters put their book with their name on it into the shelf, right? Just symbolizing that that's the end of the campaign, it's the end of an era and they're moving on. And then we get the scene with Mike staring from on top of the stairs to the next generation of kids who are playing D&D. Well, in the show, we got that Will puts his book in before Mike, but then our boy Mike, or at least his actor, which I can't remember his name right now, Mr. Wolf, let's just call him, he posted a picture on his Instagram that shows the books rearranged, okay? And in this scenario, we get this.
Why are they changing the epilogue? Why are they changing the epilogue and drawing attention to it, okay? Look at the binders that Finn just posted on his story. Max, Lucas, Will, Dustin, Mike. That's odd, because in my recollection, Will leaves right before Mike does. Yep, here goes Dustin. Yep, and there's Will's binder. Oh, and what do we have here? Finally, Mike's binder, right next to Will's.
And people are just chopping it up to pure coincidence, right? That the Duffer Brothers, they gave us a bad ending, and let's leave it at that. It's bad writing. It's not that there's a secret. It has caught on, and honestly, it brings me a little bit of joy. I am a believer that we don't have anything else. The ending that we got, that is the ending. And whether you love it, whether you hated it, whether you just made your peace with it, that's it, okay? I'm a bit of a pessimist in that regard, but I do admit that seeing all of these theories online is super freaking fun, man. I mean, like I mentioned before, right? You have all the right in the world to be upset at the Duffer Brothers for giving a mediocre ending, a show that has been building up for 10 years, giving it a bleh ending. And a lot of shows suffer from this. They they're popular for so long, they have such dedicated fan base, and then the final episode comes out and people are not satisfied with it. I feel like at the end of the day, a lot of the time shows can't stick the landing. Like, my favorite show ever is How I Met Your Mother. And do you guys know how that show ended? Do you guys remember how that show ended, where we finally got the perfect mother that we have been searching for the entire time alongside Ted, only for them to kill her off and then Ted ends up with Robin? Okay, there's a lot of people at the time that were defending that ending, but a lot of people fell in love with Tracy to the point that where we finally got her, we only got a few episodes with her in the last season, and then she died. People were so upset that the directors had to add an alternative ending where Tracy doesn't die and Ted and her live happily ever after, and he never ends up with Robin, and that's it. So you see what I mean? It's like, it's hard to land a perfect ending. Then you had the notorious Game of Thrones. Oh my goodness. Like I mentioned in my Stranger Things video, I didn't really watch it, but I heard so much about how they fumbled the ending. Again, it's just really good shows with really good writing, have a hard time sticking the ending regardless. Only some do. Breaking Bad, I'm looking at you. I really enjoyed that ending. I think it was worth the hype. Really good show. You should watch it. Awesome. Because of what's happening, because of the ending that we got, people are making up their own endings, or people are believing that Mike is in a trance, right? He was put in a trance by Vecna, and everything that we're seeing is just from Mike's mind. Vecna got our boy, and everybody around him is kind of trying to wake him up. Because take a little gander at this TikTok video I found of the squawk of this radio transmission that people found where you could kind of hear somebody saying, Mike, wake up. And also from the same video, the clip between Hopper and Mike when they have their final conversation.
Then there's the Hopper scene that people can't stop talking about. Near the end of the finale, there's a moment set 18 months later. Hopper is talking to Mike about sacrifice, about loss, about the way people punish themselves after everything they've been through. And then something strange happens. Mid-conversation, Hopper looks directly at the camera. Not past it, not near it, straight into it. He says, "You push people away and you suffer because that's what you think you deserve." Then, after the sentence is finished, he looks back at Mike and continues the scene like nothing happened. That detail is what set people off. Because Stranger Things almost never breaks eyeline like that by accident. Characters don't look directly into the lens unless the show wants you to feel seen, or addressed, or implicated. At first, some fans brushed it off as a coincidence, a framing issue, an acting choice that meant nothing. But the more people replayed it, the harder that explanation became to accept. The timing is too clean. Hopper doesn't glance during a pause or a reaction shot. He locks eyes with the camera exactly during the line about pushing people away and suffering because you think you deserve it. A line that doesn't just apply to Mike. It applies to almost every major character, and arguably to the audience watching too.
Why would Netflix, right, a company that has been clowned on in the last few years because they just have too many shows that are terrible, why would they play into Conformity Gate? Netflix putting their name on this theory makes it a little weird, because why would a company risk negative PR, especially after they knew the reception of most people did not like the last episode? Everything about it is suspicious. And I'm not going to lie, guys, I'm kind of hooked whether we get a new episode on the 7th, or maybe it is just an elaborate ruse, because I wasn't privy to the fact that there are going to be spin-offs of this show. There's going to be 2 spin-offs that we know of now. One is the animated series that takes place between, I believe, the 2nd and 3rd season. And then we also have a show dedicated to what was in that briefcase, right? That we see that little base rock from Dimension X that Henry absorbs into his hand. It's going to be a series revolving around that. What if it's just a promo for Stranger Things, whatever spinoff they're going to come up with next? Or I don't know, maybe a video game. I don't know, it's just something out of left field. If a company like Netflix is willing to interact with posts talking about Conformity Gate, there has to be something. There kind of just has to be. I don't believe it's gonna be an episode. I don't believe it's gonna be a whole different ending, an alternate ending. Plus, I think the Duffer Brothers did an interview with several news sites. I know Collider is probably one of the most popular ones, where they literally just talked about how, one, they don't have any alternate endings. They supposedly didn't cut anything from the final episode. And on top of that, whenever they were asked questions about where were the Demogorgons and the Demobats and the Demodogs during the last fight, they just said they were there chilling somewhere. Vecna didn't feel like they needed it because he wasn't expecting a surprise attack, even though the mines that he infiltrated would have shown him the fact that they were planning an elaborate plan. They were planning a ruse. Why couldn't Vecna see that? You know, there's definitely some things that were off, and a lot of the time it's just the fact that maybe they just got lazy and that's it, and the writing is bad. You know, they wanted to get the show done and over with to start working on other projects. That was their prerogative. I wasn't in the writer's room, but if this is real, if they played an elaborate ruse on us now, right? We got pranked. Call out Ashton Kutcher because they got us, and there's actually a secret episode I think that has the potential to like break the internet for a few months. That would be an incredible fake out, and I will tip my invisible fedora to them. But if there isn't, hey, the theories were cool. I still didn't hate the ending. I might still watch the animated series and the spin-off series and then talk about them, but that might be it. Who knows? We might get a video game announced. Like in the show, Lucas says we don't believe in coincidences. So I want to know what you guys think about this. What do you guys think of Conformity Gate? Let me know in the comment section down below. I will post something on the 7th in 2 days talking about what occurred. Part of me hopes that I'm wrong, and part of me hopes that there is actually something, but I'm a pessimist at heart, and I don't think it's gonna be anything that exciting. I would love to be proven wrong. I would love to be proven wrong. If you like this video, hit that like button. Please subscribe. There's no direction for this channel, guys. This is just whatever I feel like shooting that day. I just shoot it and then we roll with it. So if that's for you, that'd be awesome. Thank you for sticking around, and I will see you guys in 2 days. 2 days. Mark it on your calendars. January 7th. Let's see what happens. We don't believe in coincidences. Conformity Gates. Conformity Gates.